Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the Introvert Dating Success Show, courtesy of introvertdatingsuccess.com. I'm your host, Harry Wilmington. This is the show, and that is the website where you can go to learn how to attract women as your authentic introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. And on today's show, I have a question from a guy that wants to know, how important is it to have physical attraction towards somebody? Why is it that we had that in the first place? What is its purpose? And is that something we should be looking for ultimately in a mate? Or is that the most important thing, or should we be looking for something else deeper? So I want to get into this today. It's a short question, and I figured it'd be a really short answer to give, so I will do that. As always, for more of these shows, you can go to introvertdatingsuccess.com. For those of you that are regular watchers and listeners of this show and you want to show your support, you can go to the website and click on the tip jar tab. Also, you can become a patron by going to patreon.com/introvertdatingsuccess. And when you do that, you will have access to these shows a week before anybody else. Also, if you have any questions for one of these shows, you can go to the website, click on the contact tab, and send me a message. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this guy's particular situation. And it goes something like this. He says, I've been thinking a lot lately about what I'm attracted to in a person. And I realize that I'm not quite sure why we value physical attraction so much. It doesn't tell you anything about what a person is like. For example, I had a huge crush on a girl in high school, and she was an amazing person, really smart, ambitious, caring, and fun. She was also short and chubby. So afterwards, I developed an attraction to girls who looked like her. However, I met another girl who was similar in physical appearance, but she was just an awful person to be around, had really atrocious views about other people. This has left me confused and wondering what the point of it is. Is physical attraction supposed to be representative of someone, or is it just an end in of itself? So this is an important question, because this is one of those things that for you guys out there that are, trying to date and you're going out there meeting girls, obviously as guys, we are visual creatures. So the first thing you're going to notice about a girl when you go out there, obviously, is her looks. But why is that? Well, this goes back to biology and nature, and it all goes back to like sex and mating. So, but the short version of that is this, is that how a person looks, we typically find them attractive based on the kind of potential offspring we could see ourselves having with that person. So for those of you that want to have kids, and even those of you that don't, like me, don't want to have kids, there's still going to be a subconscious biological thing that is going to determine the kind of women you're attracted to. And then we go down even more of a rabbit hole and talk about the whole Oedipus Complex thing, and about you trying to find women that are similar in both looks and in attitude to the first women in your life, which is your moms, your grandmas, your aunts, your cousins, etc. But ultimately, it's about, there's a level of familiarity that we look for in women. So a lot of times, if you find yourself attracted to a particular type, you need to look at the women that you grew up around, and you'll realize that a lot of them have similar features or characteristics of those women. So that's where a lot of this comes from. But in reference to physical look specifically, it's usually because that's the kind of woman you could imagine having a decent offspring with. So, certain traits about a woman, whether it's like her bust size or her curves or her looks, all of this is designed to make you think, wow, this could be a woman that I could really have some good looking kids with. Now, consciously, you're not thinking about that part. Consciously, you're typically thinking, wow, she's hot, she's got these big whatevers, and she's looking a certain way, and I wish she smells good, and all these other things. And so all that stuff's important, because the reality of relationships and dating in general is that you're going to find a woman attractive now, and she's going to be like the best thing you've ever looked at. And 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year down the line, ideally, you'll still find her attractive, but there's going to be a level of that wears off. And honestly, a lot of that just comes with time. The more time you spend with the person, the more familiar their looks become. And then the part of what we find so attractive about women is the newness of it. You see a woman for the first time, she's so gorgeous, blah, blah. Well, after about 10 months, a year, 2 years with that same person, those looks are now old news. And you'll typically end up finding other girls more attractive looking, just because, not because the one you're with is bad, but because it's new stimuli. And new stimuli is typically going to be more attractive and enticing to us men than old stimuli. But so that's what the physical attraction part is for ultimately, to get into those initial phases of like wanting to be with them, wanting to procreate with them and stuff like that. What is the level of importance of that? And this is where a lot of guys get tripped up, because a woman can look hot and she could be the best thing walking around town, and then you get with her and she's hot still, but you start recognizing there's other things that are there. Now, ideally, the women that you're picking are going to be nice, caring women who are down for you, but you're also going to find, even with those women over time, there's going to be, disagreements that come up, arguments. There's going to be little nitpicky things that she does that are going to just kind of like tick away a little bit at her attractiveness level. And so what you need to be aware of is that you got to find a woman that, if her looks go away, or if over time they start to lessen, that her actual personality and the characteristics that she has are going to be the things that are going to want to keep you around long term. Because I'll tell you, like, I've been with women where, they're very, very attractive and they want to have sex all the time, but that's going to start to die down, and then it's going to have to go down from like, we're just getting physical all the time and she's so pretty and whatever, to, okay, what kind of conversations can she have? What kind of job does she have? How is she supporting us as a couple? Does she say nice things about me, or is she always putting me down? Is she always arguing, or is she trying to lift me up? And you're going to find over time that while initially the looks got you in and got you hooked on her, the better she treats you, the better you're going to feel about wanting to stay in that relationship, to where even if something happens, because, life happens, things catch on fire. She could get her face burnt off. She could be in an accident where her arm gets chopped off. She could have something happen where she breaks out in hives and her face isn't as pretty anymore. And it's like, when those things happen, does she have the personality to still keep you around and engaged? Because I've been in relationships where, over time, I realized the personality just wasn't there. And then because the personality went away, I started not seeing them as pretty as they were before. And I've also dated women who were seemingly average on the looks front, but their personality was just so great that I wanted to be around them all the time. When you first see a woman, that's the front, that's the face, that's the advertisement. Hey, look at me, I'm pretty, I got makeup on, I got a nice dress on, I'm showing my cleavage, I smell really good. And ideally, she'll be doing that sporadically throughout the relationship. But the reality is, when you're with the person on a day-to-day, you're not going to always get the woman in makeup. You're not going to always get the woman dressing to her tens. And in those moments, when she ain't looking the best she can look, her personality still needs to be at a 10. So you got to figure that part out. But that's not to say that looks don't play an important part, because they're the part that makes us want to approach them in the first place. You just got to understand that just because they're important in the initial phases of dating, that doesn't mean that that's to be something that carries it long term, because it's not. Because if looks were able to carry a relationship, all these Hollywood couples would still be together instead of breaking up. So you got to figure out that the girl has a good personality, and you got to make sure you also have a great personality, because guess what, guy? Even though they say, guys typically age better, you're going to start losing your looks too. And you want to make sure that you have the personality that's going to keep her around long after your looks have started to fade. All right? So hopefully that answers this guy's question. If you like this show and you want to contribute and show your support, you can go to the website, introvertdatingsuccess.com, and click on the tip jar tab. I got a bunch of links there where you can show your support, including my Patreon link, whereby if you join Patreon, you get access to these shows a week before anybody else. For those of you that are keeping tabs on the Stop Losing Women podcast that I previously had done as a show and will be putting out, I'm putting them all out on June 19th. When you go to the website, you'll be able to click on the link that can give you access to the subscription-based service, at which you can have access to over 400 episodes of my previous podcast, the Stop Losing Women podcast. And this is like a master class in dating. So everything you want to know about how to meet, greet, attract, date, and find the love of your life, and then how to be able to sustain those relationships. I give a lot of great information. I've had a lot of guys write me and say that it saved their lives, it saved their marriages, it saved them from having to go to therapy, it helped them to get more confidence. That show, that's going to be available to you starting Friday, June 19th. So there'll be links to that on that date. In the meantime, if you have any questions you'd like answered on this show, you can write to me by going to the website and clicking on the contact tab. If you're interested in doing one-on-one coaching, because I'd love to help you with your personal situation, you can go to the website and click on the coaching tab, and we can set something up. That's all I got for today's show. For those of you that are watching this on YouTube, I thank you. Be sure to subscribe. For those of you that are listening to this on iTunes, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and a fantastic review, because those do actually show up and they do help me get seen on those various platforms. So be sure to do that. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I will catch you guys on the next show. I'm out. Peace.